Hello, everybody, welcome. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. We've got here this unit, and just want to learn how to use this tonight. Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. I appreciate that very much. It's the results of not cutting the top off during the pandemic. So this has been in progress for the last year. Alrighty. Hey, Spelunk, welcome back, welcome back. We are trying to get this whole thing readied up now. As per last stream, the Splatoon stream, we ended up getting this tip here that we found out we needed when we initially got this package. So here's where it is, and this is what we're doing. Meanwhile, I feel like it should hopefully be obvious how to set this up, but I don't want to be wrong. So I am going to just try to skim through this and make sure that this all makes sense. Still pretty weird that the tip wasn't included. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like, well, there's a number of things happening here. Okay. I guess I'll should probably just open everything first. Can't wait to see the initial bit of solder that comes with a tip to be vacuumed. I haven't plugged anything yet. This is a strange, there it is, there's the opening. This is my third one of these right here. I feel like what's interesting is, like, I love it. I love this thing, but I feel like a lot of people mention that you should probably just use like a regular old like actual sponge, like a wet sponge. That apparently tins better than this guy, but I mean, I like this guy. Also, separate thing to note, I actually hate using sponges, if I'm gonna be honest. Like the actual wet kitchen sponges, brass all the way. Yeah, I like brass, but like I heard a lot about better to use a wet kitchen sponge. Separately, just wanted to make mention of this. First time in probably years, so it's the first time since streaming keyboard stuff or any overhead stuff that I cut down to 30 FPS. Usually go 60 FPS, but I've set this stream to 30 FPS. Just want to see what, how it's gonna be. Getting, cutting a little more close to 24 gives you like more of a cinematic feel, a little less jarring, I guess. 60 is definitely smoother, but wanted to see what this is like, and I think going 30 might improve like the actual picture quality. One would hope, but we'll see. We'll see how this all turns out. Spelunk, thank you for redeeming that. I will redeem that, or I will open that up. Got one package for tonight. We'll open that up hopefully as soon as I figure all of this out, so I can clear all this off. Just have this look a little more open. Let's toss all this. plastic. Got just a ton of little attachments and all kinds of like plastic here. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure what's what, but I am just trying to get all of this out of here. Just more available for me. So pull the keyboard a little bit out of the way so I have more desk mat space. Speaking of, a little uncommon, but I like getting my desk mats all dirty. I feel like that's the purpose. This is the first and only desk mat that I currently actually have in possession. I love it, and I also love getting it dirty. This is I think Nautilus, GMK Nautilus. I don't actually have the Nautilus set, but you know, as I play Splatoon, I love cephalopods, so I just had to get the mat. It was actually in stock before a bigger boom happened in the community. A lot of things used to be in stock more, I guess. All right. Still don't really have anything plugged in. Let's take a look. So this is the assembly. I mean, it looks like it makes sense. Alrighty. I'm guessing this will kind of just work like this. It just presses in. Is that it? Let's see. Alrighty. How does one remove it? Out of curiosity. Something like this. Gotta learn how to use this. And there's a lot of terminology here that doesn't, it's like not fully clear. Also, I mean, it's a little grammatical typo. To replace the nozzle cartridge, insert the nozzle remover into the flange of the nozzle. Well, let's see if we can hone in on this. The flange of the nozzle cartridge, and press the nozzle unlock button A. Ah. Okay. Rolly, hey, welcome back. Glad to have you back. I see, okay. That's how you deal with this. Whoa, my goodness. You have flying tips and everything, okay. So it's interesting because this guy right here can be used like a pen or like a gun. And I'm pretty curious as to like, is one better than the other? Yeah, it is pretty neat, I gotta say. I'm just curious, like, what should someone do? Guess we'll go with the gun for now. Just kind of see. Yeah, we could try both. So how is this held? Is this held like this? How does it get seated? Definitely try both. I would like to know what the pen is like. Okay. Alright. You guys are asking for it. Maybe we'll start off with that then. I'm just like more curious about how this is supposed to stay seated. Like this. Interesting. So there's some kind of connecting cable here for I don't know what purpose. Oh, okay. So there's a connecting cable here for the use of sleep. So I think that's what this is for. It's at the back of the station. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, guys. I have this all set up in a way that is supposed to look good, but may require me to shift a bunch of stuff around, and I apologize for that in advance. And try to avoid that as best I can. Maybe I just pull out the station. I like the idea of having it kind of tucked away in the back of my desk where I'm not actively using it in the first place, but let's just try this out. So there it is. So here is a little, it's like 3.5 millimeter jack that you're supposed to connect to this guy. And I guess that when you lock it in here, it'll know to sleep somehow. I don't really know how. Oh, interesting. Oh, that is super cool. Okay, check this out. Alright, let's see how well we can get this. Damn, I can't see what I'm personally doing. So give me a second here. This thing's crazy. Watch this. I don't know if you it's probably not super easy to see, but there is some kind of mechanism with the back of this holding unit to this black box that the 3.5 millimeter jack plug goes into. And you can kind of just barely see there's like a metal contact there. What happens is when the pen / gun rests on this, weight comes down and there's like a button, like a push mechanism to activate this, I guess, to know when to go to sleep. It's actually super cool. I don't know if you guys think that's cool. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's super interesting. Alrighty. Not overly complicated, but it's like it just feels clever. Feels very clever. Hang on, okay. Sorry, I'm like half trying to read this and I'm not sure what it is that I'm reading. What is really, really weird is that I think this is for the actual soldering, like not the desoldering iron, but for the soldering iron. but it doesn't really well specify this. I'm not totally certain because this is not even like the same unit. Oh, I realized none of you guys can see this diagram. There's like, essentially there's instructions to do stuff with the gun here, and all of a sudden it appears that there's some instructions without really even fully saying it on how to use the not included soldering iron, meant for soldering instead of desoldering, which is interesting. I think that these instructions left a lot to be desired, but all right. All right. I mean, it kind of just says, hey, this is how you plug it in. So I am going to insert this into the back here. We'll get this to, I guess, loop around. Pardon me, I might knock some things and bump my head. Hopefully I won't make too much noise. You guys are probably gonna see a little funny stuff for the next minute. Alrighty, let's get that guy in. I'm gonna just keep it unplugged for a second, go back to this, and just kind of start seeing exactly what it is I need to do. Connect the power cord to the inlet, connect the plug from the FM. Okay, so it is telling me to go in this order. Not that I think it matters entirely too much, but before I actually plug it in to an outlet, I guess we're gonna plug this guy into the actual Hako. So there's two things here. One is, I think, like for like power, the ability to power, and I don't know, maybe send data, some kind of DIN cable, I don't know. And this one right here might be for the actual suction. Just a guess, I don't know. Thing is telling me to insert this little nozzly thing in here, which I am admittedly struggling to do. Part of me wishes I shouldn't have pushed this in all the way because you guys can't see my own struggle. But I think I might be getting it. It's very weird. Push this all the way into the base. It's really rubbery. I'm supposed to put it into this like thick little, I don't know, pushed out tube on the, like a plastic tube on the station. I'm not sure how far I've pushed it in. I feel like I've pushed it in pretty far, but I want to be able to push it in more in case I need to. All right. We're just gonna act like that is good. Okay. So that's the hose to the filter case cover. I guess that's what that means. Plug it in, turn the switch on. Shit, is the switch in the back? Yes, there is a switch in the back. Okay, cool. Very cool, very cool. All right, we're gonna plug it in, guys. All right, plugged in. Power switch on. I see this thing turn on. And so immediately this thing is running up. It's already getting hot as far as I can see. And I can like hear this heat. So I'm a little scared of this because I've never used this before. But let's see what you guys can be able to see here. So if I just press this button, all right, it went up to 750. I'm gonna guess that is 750 in Fahrenheit. Okay, so when it's set down, I don't know if it's gonna do the sleep mode thing. I'm gonna read this maybe to see how you might change the units of measurement. Apparently, the temperature setting range is 350 to 450 Celsius for the FM-204, which is the actual pen-like unit that has this gun attachment. So that probably means that the 750 that I'm looking at here is in Fahrenheit. What do you guys know is the optimal temperature for desoldering? I'm guessing it's probably just like the lowest, 350, right? So it would be about 660 Fahrenheit. I don't know if it matters that we're at 750. And I also don't know what the shit. I have no idea how to use this. So let's see. Ah, interesting. So this guy right here, I think is like a literal like key. Huh. Let's check this out. So I can't actually make any adjustments without this key being inserted into the station. So there's this key here, and I have to actually like plug it into the station. And this allows me to actually make adjustments. So I can go from, what the hell? Damn, I wish y'all could see what I could see, because I'm very clearly doing something that is absurd. All right, so I now set it to 660. So now I can see it going down in temperature. That's cool as shit. All right, all right. Cool, there it is. Pull the key out and we should all be good. This guy right here seems like some kind of a little keychain situation. Maybe makes it a little harder to get lost, perhaps. This, I'm imagining, has got to be some kind of a cleaning unit, but not totally sure yet. Okay, oh, look at this. Entering the tip offset value. When the set temperature is 400 degrees Celsius and the actual tip temperature is 410, the difference in temperature is 10 degrees Celsius, so enter negative 10 as the current offset value. So the thing is that, like, how would I know? Temperature accuracy of iron tips is plus minus 15 degrees Celsius, or about 27 degrees Fahrenheit, except for designated tips. So it's like you have to know in advance what tip you're using to know what the offset is. So, I mean, maybe then it's just worthwhile to just go a little higher. I mean, I feel like hopefully it's not going to hurt anyone. That I go just like a little bit higher. Like, what if we just go 700 or something? All right. So it looks like there's a situation where you can change what the offset is, and that's what this whole thing appears to be. Oh my god, there are a lot of instructions. I mean, as mentioned, this should all hopefully just be pretty obvious. But I'm not sure. Parameter entry mode. I see. So this is kind of just, I think, showing or displaying what's going on. Auto sleep time, or temperature display. So all displays offset free mode, buzzer setting mode, temperature alert setting mode, auto sleep setting mode, auto blah blah. Maintenance, here we go. So, interesting. So I have the cleaning pins from the FR300 that I own. I don't know what this is. Yeah. Let's see. I can probably go back to the very front of this and then be more certain. So this is the cleaning drill. So I think there's two different things to look at here. So I guess it would be cleaning with the cleaning drill is this portion here. But then there's a cleaning pin, and I'm not quite certain what the difference is. Use the proper size cleaning pin or cleaning drill for the nozzle diameter. Okay, so I'll probably have to grab that one if that's the one that matches the N310. I can't imagine this will fit on this tip that I got, so it's a little bit weird to me that they would it's a little bit weird to me that they would include an actual like cleaning, like a heating element cleaning tool, like this cleaning drill, without actually giving you like they don't actually even like give you a tip. So it's just like, did they just guess that this is what they wanted to give you? It's kind of interesting. I mean, this is like a drill bit, so I guess we can throw in any kind of bit into here, figure that out. It's kind of an interesting thing. All right. I'm like a little too excited here. I feel like maybe I can learn how to clean this off stream, because I really just want to be able to see this thing, you know, go, you know? I think that's probably what folks here want to see as well. Oh my gosh, like, this is so crazy. Apparently there's an inside filter of the machine itself. It looks like we got the sleep mode. Oh, that's super cool. So we got the sleep mode. Anyways, there's extra stuff in here, I guess, to actually do cleaning on the station, which is like crazy complicated. And I think that like this is actually probably all worthwhile. I think it's probably important that I actually go through this, but maybe off stream, because I know everyone here is probably anxious to see what's going on. So let's try this out, guys. So before we open that redeemed package, I think the idea here is let's just kind of see if this does what we think it's supposed to do. So let's see here. Ah, it worked. That's cool. Alrighty. So there you have it. Alrighty. Okay, so I have a plan here tonight. So what we're gonna do here is I'm going to open up this package, followed by grab the keyboard, the first keyboard that I want to desolder. So here is this package I got. This is from AliExpress. So Spelunk if you're still there, feel free to come on by. We're about to open this this little package I got. Hey, right here. Okay. Tricky. I tried ripping off this shipping label, but you know, sometimes the adhesive is a little more stubborn than you want it to be. Here we go. Open this up. We got a nice little package here. You guys could possibly figure it out without me fully opening this. But we're gonna try to open this hopefully right. There we go. These are SP stars Nana switches. They're the linear ones. They're linears. They're like recolors. Oh, sorry. Linear, I guess, themed SP star switches. Like color themed. I think they were themed to some key set or something. There we go. Let's take a closer look here. So it's a nice little purple stem, pink housing. It's very cool. It says SP star right on there. Let's see if we can capture that. Kind of. We can kind of capture that. I've been hearing good things about SP stars in general. I have as well. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can hear that at all. There's music playing, I realize, but pretty cool. Pretty cool. So that's our one package for the night. Apparently I should have 70 of these. Hopefully, was it 70? I hope it's 70, or I hope it's however many I needed. Give me a sec while I determine what the heck it was that I bought and how many it was that I needed. Got a little project. Yo, my guy Chris, welcome back. Always nice to see you come around. Package we opened up some more keyboard switches. I have a whole pantry full of these keyboard switches. Sorry, I'm just hydrating. have a whole pantry full of these keyboard switches, but we just got some more. I apparently needed about 5 plus 60. So I think we should be good. How many did I buy? About 70. Perfect. Okay, so we got 70 of these SP stars. I guess I could count them later, unless one of you guys is like really, really talented and can count this instantly. I'm gonna just assume that this is 70, or the minimum 65 that I need. So I think we're good. All right. Continuing along then. Oh, completely out of focus yet again. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab this this board in the pantry. This board I've been meaning to desolder for a while. Bought it off RMM. Here it is. It's just a vintage board, SKCL green ALPS. And I wanted to harvest this for ALPS projects that I've, been supposed to have been working on through the month of April for April ALPS. Sadly, through the month of April, I've only actually done one ALPS build, which is this one to my right that you guys might have seen many a time this month. But you know, we'll end off April ALPS, or ALPS April. We'll end off ALPS April by still trying to do ALPS related stuff, even if it's not a full build. We're going to be harvesting some switches out of this board. This is Zenith, I think Z150. Badge is missing. They do feel pretty smooth. I don't know, in my opinion. I think there's kind of some pinging in it, but you know, part of the charm, you know. We did some other good ALPS stuff this month, even if it wasn't a build, but running off looking at some vintage stuff here, and you know, gonna repurpose this. 9U spacebar looks like about right. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Yep, about 9 units long spacebar. I don't think I intend to use these keycaps, so these might just end up being parts. Maybe I'll move them, see what people like. I don't know. We'll see. Purpose of me buying this was primarily for the switches, so we'll see how things go. Ooh, trying to think. I don't really have containers. Can you show the inside of one of the caps? Yeah, certainly. So I don't think that they are double shot. Just it doesn't have like the second color plastic, so these might be lasered. I'm not sure how easy it is for me to be able to tell, but here I'll try to hit up some different angles in the light here and see if you guys can help decide what it is. I don't believe they're PBT, but I don't know. I've been wrong before. Also, I mean, probably the best way to know is to perform a simple Google search. I'll probably turn up the results of what these keycaps are. I never knew what the keycaps for the switches look like. Yeah, so ALPS looks like this. It's kind of got this like thin rectangular cross mount, and so the stem that actually lives inside is like an even thinner rectangle. So that's what it looks like. Alrighty. I can tell this thing is messy. Like, this thing is dirty. It looks like years of hair and dust bunnies and all that. I'm here on the side just trying to look for little containers I could possibly use to sort of capture the the magic here. So give me a second while I sort out my thoughts. I see I got a little plastic container that is likely too small. I got a little teppanyaki bowl. So one is going to be used for switches. We'll use another one for keycaps. Probably the bigger one here is the plastic container for the keycaps. So let's go ahead. We're gonna lift off all the keycaps. Good lord. We successfully have pulled this FM-204 into sleep mode yet again, which is actually pretty cool. Yeah, these are, any way you look at it, there's a lot of this that sort of needs to be handled. We'll take off the stabilized keys after. We're going to desolder the switches, probably off stream. Going to figure out a way to clean the switches, or the keycaps, sorry. ALPS keycaps, not going to lie, they're pretty hard to pull off. So just so that people are aware, it's gonna be a lot of funky sounds coming off of this stream. Chris, I'm not sure if you're still around or if you've been here for some of these like harvesting type streams before, but they get kind of loud. What's so good about these switches? They're just, in my opinion, I feel like they're nice. They're just nice ALPS linear switches. I don't think I have any more than that. Like, I don't know what the nicest ALPS linear switch is, but I've always heard that these were just like among some of the nicer linears that exist in the you know, ALPS mount. I actually have had experience with SKCL, you know, linear green ALPS in the past, but I recall that like it was such a long time ago that good lord, this is dirty. It was such a long time ago that like when I harvested them, like all of them were just like kind of messed up in some capacity. Like they were all like mega scratchy, so I wasn't sure if there was just something possibly completely totally wrong with the switches, and I didn't want to take the time to sort of figure out what was wrong with them. Because I didn't foresee myself using them. But you know, time is a cycle, and here we are. I have now had to pay 10x what I sold the last set of SKCL green ALPS I had. But fortunately, the person I bought it from did specify that they were already pretty smooth, and so here we are. Take all these 1U keys off first before figuring out what to do with the stabilized keys. There's a lot of them, aren't there? Some of them I'm not even certain. Whew. Hands getting tired just trying to pull these keycaps off. I think that these are, yeah, these are, whoa, some of them, oh, these are all pretty cool. They have like, they all have like LEDs, little LEDs there. All right, I'm always, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm fearful of pulling off any keycap, but I'm always especially fearful of pulling off stabilized ALPS keycaps. I never know what the best option is here, so I don't know if I should just pull them straight off and then just hope for the best. Well, there we go. It's not the worst thing in the world. What's cool is that we got these little, like the actual plate mounted stabilizer clips. They are here, and what's cool is that they're in black. Oh my god, the dirt. It's actually like pretty disgusting, but I mean, as with any older board, it's kind of, you expect it. Is this a Zenith? Yes, yes it is. I believe it's a Zenith Z150, if you want to look that up, find out more details about it. Feel free to let me know what you find out. Alright, I am probably going to end up getting that mat that I never use. Just because I don't want all this disgusting stuff to end up on my desk mat. As much as I said before that I do like messing up my desk mat, it's like this probably has a lot of like human DNA in it. So yeah, Shaman badges there. Yeah, I think that's probably why this didn't go for more than it cost, even though I do, in all honesty, think I overspent. I overspent on this, but I feel like if the badge was there, it would have been even more. Okay. Let me go grab the actual electronics mat so I could flip this over in peace. I do not know where it is. Always losing stuff, man. It's like, when am I not losing stuff? Ah, there it is. Right in front of me, as I've just made a mess of everything else. Alrighty. Alright, so this is an equally dusty / crusty little repair mat here. So it'll go well with all the disgusting stuff that's on the actual board to harvest from. So I'm gonna flip this over. So it looks like it's all connected together by Phillips. Oh my gosh. Okay, got a little iFixit kit here that I almost just dropped everywhere. Let's open this fella up, yeah. Just 4 screws, really? Only? So, I'm gonna harvest this, right? What do you guys do? I don't know if anyone here is like big on harvesting from old boards, but like, what would you do with all of the junk afterwards? Do you guys try selling it? Do you guys try just throwing it away in the trash? Do you guys take it to like e-cycling? It's like, I'm never gonna use this PCB. It's not an HHKB layout board. Like, I don't even think I need to remove all of this. Might be helpful to, like, you know, spare myself from the cable, but I actually don't even think it really matters that much. Yeah, I feel like we can just go. For that matter, I can't be fully certain. Don't really see the spare part selling. Yeah, I agree, especially without the badge. So, e-cycling, is that what you guys would do? Or would you guys just sneak it into the trash and then like hope that no one sees it? I can't be certain that this is lead solder, so I might actually need to up the heat. And I don't think it's gonna be the worst thing in the world if we go to like 750, which is exactly where we started, isn't it? All right, maybe we should just begin. Let's try it out, guys. You guys ready for some interesting pen desoldering? Let's take a look here. Oh shit. I think we've got a problem, guys. I think that... oh shit, guys. I get this strange feeling here that maybe I bought the wrong tip. Oh boy. Let's see. It is very, very thin for these pins. Alright, I don't mind if I burn these pads because I'm never gonna go, but I'm just trying to be certain here that is this really what has happened? And part of me thinks yes. Let's see. You know what the diameter of the tip is? It's 1 millimeter. So I don't know if that's was I just like foolish here to have. Yeah. So I've been looking at these and it's just between these two switches I've done 4 pins. From the bottom side, the right side is it kind of comes off cleanly. So let's just try to see, can we push this out? And I'm trying to think. I'll take ALPS switches out. Just like this. Like, is it just like MX? I forget. Seems pretty clean. I mean, it came out, pins are intact. It just feels like crazy tight. That's my concern. So it's like not so bad when I'm just harvesting, because then like I don't care so much about the PCB. But if I'm trying to desolder like an actual PCB that I do use, then I don't know. Zoo, welcome. What are you planning to do with the plastic case after harvesting? Well, the bottom is metal. The top appears to be plastic. What do I plan to do with it? I don't know, other than take it to e-cycling. But Zoo, if you want it, it's yours. Let's see. I also am realizing that there's a few of these guys here that have LEDs, so that's also probably an issue. Hey, so I think... Oh, Zoo, you want it? Okay. Yeah, it's yours. All yours, dude. These are actually... This thin-ass tip is actually super good for LEDs. So there's that as an upside. So with this guy right here, it's like yeah, these LEDs are like super nice to go off because I know it's like not big enough. Okay, we'll take cases, try to make cherry compatible PCBs for them. XT layout. Yeah, no, it's yours, dude. The only thing here is that this is an ALPS, so I guess you'll probably have to cut a new plate too. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to chalk this up to this is just too thin for these, like, let me see. What did I do with that switch? Just constantly losing shit. You guys know where I put that switch? Because I don't. Oh, here it is. It seems, and I could be wrong, I mean, these legs shouldn't be different widths, but for some reason, one is like harder to desolder than the other. Yeah. So, okay. So Splunkpunk says 1.2 millimeter on FR301. Okay. I just assumed that the FR300 that I have was 1.0, but this is 1.0 apparently, and it's like a struggle. Right, I'm gonna try using the gun. This is, okay, the gun is actually really nice. This is basically an FR300 or an FR301, but way lighter. Shit, you know what the problem is that I think because this might be so damn thin, I don't know if I have a bit or a cleaning pin that's thin enough for this. So give me a sec while we sort of try to do some discovery here. Oh boy. Here's the old guy. The FR300. And this is the thinnest cleaning pin I have for it. The question is this insertable into it? It is. It's like perfectly insertable. Okay, so then what's the issue? Is the issue possibly here that, I don't know, let's see. I gotta be very, very careful of what the hell I'm doing right now. FR300 definitely seems thicker, but the pin that I have can fit into both. So that's interesting. So unfortunately, we're at a point here where I can clean, which is, I mean, that's a good thing. The bad thing is it's just too damn thin, so I think I might just need a bigger thingy. I need a bigger thingy. Well, I definitely lifted a pad off this PCB. As mentioned, Zoo, it's all yours. Is this up? Hoping this is up to temp right now. 1.3 is definitely a great size. I'll have to test on an ALPS PCB though. Okay. I mean, like, it's working. It's just not working super well. Oh shit, my bad, guys. It's working, but it's just not working super well. Thank you for calling that out, Splunkpunk. Appreciate it, as always. Make this possibly go lower so you guys can see it a little bit better. Now you guys got my camera in the way. In the face cam. And probably might knock my head on it too. I love the weight. It's like, as I've been mentioning, my main issue, I pulled a pad entirely. My main issue with the FR300 and likely the 301 is just the weight of the whole damn unit. Makes my forearm tired. I'm usually just like exhausted after getting through a row, even less than a row sometimes. It is quieter. Like, I'll also give it that. Like, this has a comparable amount of suction. And I feel like it's a little quieter. I don't know if you guys agree. Definitely much quieter. Right on. So for that, it's nice. All right, I'm gonna flip around and just to check, to be able to see, like, hey, are we doing the right thing here? I definitely killed one solder pad entirely. And I may have damaged another one, but again, fortunately, this is not a PCB that we're planning on using. Alright, a couple are lifting out, have lifted out cleanly so far. Those LED ones seem a little trickier, which I realize because I pushed in this camera so much closer, you guys aren't able to really see that. I like the color of your gun. Reminds me of a Nerf gun. Was this an XT plus 60? I don't know. I think it might be a full XT. Let's zoom, manual zoom back out. So it's like there's a 60-ish area. Excuse me. Here's a numpad, and then here's the macros on the left. So I think it's just XT. I think that's how XT is, right? Yeah, Hako has funny colors. These, like, very, very kiddish blue to go along with this yellow. Oh my god, I want the case more now. Alright, alright. I myself was not ever a huge fan of XT, but more power to you. I think it's like completely mutual. I get the switches, you get the case. Super cool that you do that though. Sort of repurpose old stuff, especially doing XT. I've got some stuff that's still stuck here though. Yeah, I'm getting this strange sense here that, like, this is not the best thing that's happened in the world. I need a bigger one. What's goofy as hell is that, like, you know, without getting an actual usable tip, I'm gonna struggle through this guy as much as I've struggled with previous desoldering projects, whether it be through my FR300 or even prior to an electrically powered desoldering unit, or a non-electrically powered desoldering unit. Yeah, it's gonna be a struggle. Cool unit, but looks like I've miscalculated something here. Now I'm curious. Probably ought to look to see what tips would be better. I swear, you know, I swear it though, guys. I swear it. I was Googling you know, what's the tip size of an FR300? Because the FR300 is perfect for this. And I swear I thought it was 1.0, but appears that I'm wrong. Lifted pad. It is a lifted pad, but fortunately this is just a harvesting project, so I don't care so much. We're trying to use this new desoldering station, and the problem is I don't have the right size tip. The station didn't come with tips, so I had to go buy a tip, and the tip is still not even the right tip. 1.3 is okay. I would go 1.6. All right, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna Google it right now. Give me a second, guys. So I bought the N310, which I think goes, you know, the 10 describes the number of tenths of millimeters. If I knew you were getting a gun, I would have told you. Yeah, damn. Thank you. Guys, everybody, this is my brother. So shouts out to everybody here who's a streamer. My brother here in the chat, and I'll give more shout outs. My brother streams DJ sets and graphic design. Epsilon keyboards, yeah, I gotta give you your shout out too. Hey, 1,000 bits. Whoa. I don't know if you knew this, but I do send all bits and subs to the San Francisco Marin Food Bank, so I take a look at my streaming analytics at the end of every month or two, and then I just like drop that into this donation page. But if anybody else out there wants to donate, feel free to enjoy the emotes, get your name on the leaderboard and all that. But if you want to donate directly, you know, to them, I got that page there, so that Twitch doesn't take the cut. All right. Okay, so here's the N313. I'm gonna guess that there's also probably an N316. Yeah. Wait, so I get a shout out even if I just watch your stream? You get a shout out if you're a streamer. I mean, I could shout you out, but I mean, like, people are gonna go look at your page and realize you might not have any content there. You get a verbal shout out. That's my guy Chris. All right. So Epsilon, you suggest me getting the N316. Like I was showing this a little bit earlier, but as we go back to the overhead, let's see if we can get this. Oh, it's just manual. This is my FR300 on the right, and this is my FM-204 gun attached to the FM-204. So you could clearly see this is a lot smaller. This is the 1.0. Is this a 1.3 or a 1.6? 1.3 nozzle on the FR301. It just fits. 1.6 would be better. Interesting. So this is my FR300. You know, it's a good unit and all, but it's just heavy, and that's kind of the reason why I wanted to drop so much money on this station, just so I could have something that's not as heavy, which is good, but bought the wrong tip apparently. First had to get the tip. It turns out it was the wrong tip, so I just dropped all this money on the wrong tip, apparently. I'm curious about a 1.6. Now the question is that each of these tips are like $60. Oh, Spelunk Punk, are you also a streamer as well? Do I not know that? Are we just streaming? Are we just shouting out everyone? All right, I guess we'll shout out. We'll shout out Chris too. All right. For what FR300? FR300 has cheap parts. No. For the FM-204/2024, these tips are $60. So I just dropped $60 on this guy right here. That's good for LEDs, like LED joints, but apparently not so much for the rest of these switch joints. Sad, yeah. So that's the question then. What do you guys suggest? 1.3 or 1.6? You don't have to put it over the tip, or sorry, the pin. You can just go to the side. Ah, I see what you're saying. So it's kind of like just like touch it to heat the element. And probably just do it like a once over on each side. I see. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Completely out of focus again. Yes. All right. I guess we can try for that solution. What I'm noticing is that like I can pretty well go over the right. So also, Epsi, real quick, are the pin like each of the individual pin sizes different? Because it seems like when looking from the bottom, the left one might be harder for me to get over than the right one. Because like I can get over these right ones pretty easily. That one's a weird one, but so take a look right here. This one I can just fully get on over it 1.0 for the most part. I don't know if that kind of worked or not. For MX that's true. For ALPS they're around the same size. I feel like I've been struggling on one side a little bit more than the other, but you know, maybe we'll just kind of do this. And this is like not so bad, especially considering how light this guy is. I've never tried doing this thing that you've said, so I don't know if this is like still like a strategy you could use with the FR series. But I can't imagine, because it's so damn heavy. It's like you're kind of having to do this like many times. 1.3. All right. I'll consider getting the 1.3, but you're also suggesting possibly getting the 1.6. I'm totally destroying these pads, but again, it's just for harvesting, so I don't really care that much. Zoo is getting this case. Zoo has asked for this case, and I said, all right, I'm not going to use it. Chewy's has 1.6 and uses it for MX. Okay, all right. Good to know. Thanks for the heads up, though. I appreciate it. I wished I asked earlier, but it's all good. All right, there's these ones where like the pins are like bent. So I'm curious to see how these are going to turn out. This thing is light. I love it. All right. One thing I realize is I, for some reason, bought this 1.6 cleaning pin. So it's probably a good idea that I try to go for it. Like a 1.6. This won't fit into my FR300's tip. So it's not even going to fit into this FM-204 tip either. So because I have this, I might as well. Yeah, Epsi, that's much appreciated for that. I bought that separate. It didn't even come with the the FR300. All right, so we're gonna at max finish this board, and then I think that might be all for tonight. I mean, let's kind of come back around and see how well we can pull these guys out. What's your mode of removing switches from these plates? Like, I'm trying to use this MX switch thing. So that one just pulled off. some of these do. I mean, it's like, do you not even, are you not even supposed to need any tool? You should just be able to pull it off. I'm guessing if it doesn't come off easily, that probably means that it wasn't the best desolder job. You need to desolder all of them, then just remove the PCB from the plate. Push from the back once the PCB is removed. I think an issue that actually makes a whole lot of sense, but I think my issue, at least for the present day here, is that there's no telling. I feel like there's no telling whether or not I'll have some of these joints completely like desoldered cleanly. So like some of these are we got a couple of issues here. Like I feel like the push from the back strategy only works if you're so incredibly confident that your desolder job was good, which I never have been with the FR300. Here I would be more confident had I gotten the right zip. It won't affect the switch, but it's ugly. If you use the MX switch remover, it damages the outside of the ALPS housing. Oh, okay, okay. Got it. All right. So I'm guessing I'll just put this away then. Okay, I have to get some food. Hey, thanks for dropping by. Thank you. Thank you for coming in and dropping that knowledge. All right. So, what I will say here is I've gotten through one row of harvesting from this board. And thus far, what I can say is this is not faster, but it is nicer. It is nicer how I like I'm not getting crazy tired in my arms. These guys, the guy ain't coming out. This one did. This one came out with the LED. The LED is super cool. I think it's just like a straight, I don't know, it looks bigger than a 2x3x4 LED, and it like actually like sits in. So that's like actually, I love that. That's super cool. But we have other issues. Got other issues throughout. This is like, what I'm doing right now is super suspicious. Chris, hey, thank you so much for dropping by. Till my next keyboard stream. Hey, as always, I appreciate you being here, man. You have a good night. These guys are ripping. These solder pads are ripping. Damn. It's tough, man. Tough thing that's happened here. Even this guy? Okay, this guy came out. My god. Like, these guys are like such old keyboards. It's like, how many humans have touched this? Oh, this one I didn't even desolder. Maybe we ought to clean. Maybe just clean more consistently than I have been. Guys are struggling. How badly can I rip these out? Oh my gosh, there's one. It's just like some of these are like those annoying ones where they bent them over like while soldering, before soldering, I don't know. It's gonna happen like a good lot of them here. Came out. Some of these, yeah, these are literally struggling because of like the bent pins. I feel like. Let me go grab some. Give me a second. What's the best way? It's like, because you can like just bend these pins. I feel like that's like a legit possibility. You bend these pins with just some like a needle nose or something. Just bring them over. Yeah, that's all I asked for. A lot of liberties. I feel like a lot of liberties taken, especially when I have zero intent of retaining functionality of the PCB and keeping this clean. It's like, it's all good if I just like destroy this. It may hurt to see if anybody's looking at this like, oh man, I might have wanted to use that, but just like a bunch of lifted pads here. But it's like these manufacturers, I mean, they're putting together all these joints like all bent, which I never fully understood, especially like when you have the situation where it's all inconsistent. pins that are bent. Just bend them out. Or a guy like this is like, it doesn't appear to be bent, so I'm just like, what is really happening? There was nothing wrong with that, it was just stuck. Kind of gets me to wondering a lot about ALPS in general. Sometimes it's just like, is it just stuck? Is that all? Even without the solder? This one seems a little more intense. All right, I got that. We got one row, 1.5 hours in. Granted, we did spend half an hour like reading the instruction manual here, but trying to also troubleshoot the issues that we're facing. Here's another where these pins are just bent. It's like I don't have much leeway because the nozzle tip's just a little too thin to be able to bend it back pre-solder. We're gonna go with the 1.6. I'm gonna buy that after stream. I feel like I just want to do all the easy ones, which are these right pins. Just way easier. Lifted a pad. I think it might be a thicker leg. I think that might be the issue. The right leg is a little thinner, so it's like it actually can find a way to fit into this tip. The left one, because it's just so slightly thicker, we get a couple of issues per joint. I feel like We've just been so close. It's so far for 2 straight streams. Here's to hoping that 1.6 will fix it. Way quieter, I will say. I like that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do all these right pins first. So I will contend that I do like the gun more so than the pen. But I think maybe a big influence of that is because this nozzle isn't the right size. So I'm curious to kind of see what a proper nozzle size will be like in pen mode. Definitely like a weird feeling because this like pen is so thick. But I do like how it's like similar to an iron that you can just like dip it in the same fashion. Oops. Taking this cleaning pin every now and then and just trying to shove it in there to see if there's going to be any tangible difference. Actually, this ain't so bad doing it this way. I just wish the button placement was better given the thickness of this unit, but if the button was like here, might be cooler. It's two-handed. burning pads. Let's do some cleaning. Just losing that pin every time. Pin got directly under this. All right, I think we covered this row. So let's see how many we can pull out. Not very many off the bat, at least. My goodness, this dirt. It's incredible. The dust, yeah, the dust's crazy, huh? I feel like there's a stereotype of what the person may look like if their keyboard looks like this. Alright. So, unfortunately we didn't get very many off the bat. A little challenging here. So there's a little bit of a like, if I come down in one direction, there's a little click of maybe where there's some leftover solder that I can just snap off. My God, this dust is incredible. I'm gonna try to just get some of this out of here. I'm gonna send Zoo this plate. Uncleaned. Zoo, you're gonna need it, man. How will you know without the plate cut out? Zoos, feel free to like DM me on Discord. That way we just kind of have a good record here. OG dust. The PCB, get the plate. Already on. Oh, okay, right on. All right. I will. I'll check that out a little bit later. My goodness. Goodness gracious. Were these switches south facing? It looks like it. Which I am now realizing, I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Okay. The switches are south facing, that probably is going to make it. I don't know why I just didn't think about that. Does it matter for ALPS? How do I put it? It matters for me harvesting it because it gives me a better idea of where to click in order to it gives me an idea of where to click in order to snap off whatever leftover desolder or solder material is there. Does it matter? I don't know. I like, I don't know if you mean south phasing as in like, it matters because the through holes on this board at least are at the bottom, like south, rather than at the top. I've seen that on other boards before. It's kind of like when you see the double hole on certain cherry PCB, like MX style PCBs. Like there's an extra ALPS hole that makes one of the holes bigger. Those usually end up being at the top. Ooh, tiring, man. Well, at least it's not my forearms. It's my fingers. These last two, I'm having a real problem. Also, I'm not gonna lie, this has been annoying dealing with, like, I've tried to do this without unscrewing any of this, but I think I just might, at least solely for the purpose of trying to get this cable off. This cable has been annoying. It's kind of been the bane here. Lala, welcome. Yeah, anybody interested in getting some photo film developed, feel free to hop into that link. I provide a service here for anybody interested. I've been doing a lot of keyboard streams lately, and very few photo streams, but I'm still trying to just rack up enough rolls for a full tank. We're getting there. We're definitely getting there. I have a roll. I got a roll from a disposable from Lala as he came up. For the camera you sent, can I do an Look, man, like, personally, I don't care what you do. The problem is if you do it, like, Twitch cares. Alright, how do you remove this? What's the best way to remove these guys? Like the little, I don't know what you call this. This thing is like, first of all, it's zip tied. So. No dicks or tits, I promise. I'm gonna go, shit, I'm gonna go grab that little wire cutter thingy. Meanwhile, let me know how you guys would remove this guy. It's a lot bigger than like the normal, I don't know what you call them, JSTs or whatever. Molex, whatever it is. I'm not cutting the wires, I'm cutting the zip tie. There we go. Cut zip tie, pull it out. Ah. Okay, I see what you mean. It's pretty easy, but okay, there we go. I'm gonna cut this zip tie from this other end. There we go. Too damn big with this shit. Easy peasy. Okay, I've finally gotten rid of this guy. Hey, Eno. My guy Frank, welcome. We're gonna punch these guys. We're gonna put these guys back in, so it's just kind of in place. I don't know what good that really does me, but we're just gonna do it. It is harvest season. We are struggling, to be perfectly honest. We're supposed to do this last Thursday. It didn't come with this one tip part that I would have anticipated or expected it to come with, so I went afterwards and bought a tip. We installed the tip, and the tip is unfortunately not the right size. It's good enough that this can work, but it's not good enough for this to be fast. Watch your brown ALPS. I love them. I moved the brown ALPS into like that assembly into another case. So let me show this real quick. I moved it into this like ALPS resin case, which I think looks a lot nicer. I like the thicker bezel, but it doesn't sound as good as that cheap plastic thin case. That's just a reality. Sadly. Down it does look, yeah, it looks great. It's just like, it just very unfortunately doesn't sound good. It looks like I forgot a whole joint here, and that's a problem. But no, at least when I flip, I'm not dealing with this whole stupid ass cable getting in the way. Zoo, you also got the cable. Surprise. Zoo gets the case, the PCB, the plate, the cable. What the hell? What's going on here? It's still heating? Ah, there we go. It made it look like... It made it look like it was ready. I didn't know it's like the suction wouldn't work when if it's not done heating. Didn't know that. How often do you harvest and dump the case? I haven't really harvested anything in years. I used to, and it was like this was like my first foray into the hobby, and it was pretty frequent, to be perfectly honest. I've definitely harvested my fair share of like vintage boards back in the day, just throughout the cases. Like I didn't see a purpose for it, and it's just like I've always found them to be very hard to move. But this was all like pre-2016. Had some good ass boards too, and I don't have any of those harvested parts anymore, which is sad. I had some nice ass like vintage black switches from many a good board. I had like at least 3 Wise keyboards. And at least 2 of them were mega nice, and those switches are gone. I must have sold them in some boards. I don't know. What else? I had one of these. It was crazy. It was this like it was called like a TG something. It wasn't a TGR, but it was like a police keyboard. Let me see if I can find that. I think that actually might be exactly what it is. TG3. It was a TG3. I found a picture of it. It was literally like, I think it was a board. No. It was literally a board that I guess like might have been inside of police cars. What was cool is that like it came with like a trackpad and the 2 side like click buttons. Furthermore, there's a lot of things cool about this board. It was thick. All of the keycaps were actually like I think they were like kind of double shot. Oh, you got okay. All right. So you know about it. You know what all this is. Yeah, vintage black switches. Real good. Yeah, so I harvested one of those. It is also gone. I've harvested a number of ALPS boards. I've, brown ALPS in a 5140, blue ALPS in a DC 3014. I think more MX. I might have had more MX black from a compact, like what was it, MX 11800 or 11900. So I used to do this a lot, just harvest and then dump, and I apologize if that offends you. But this was all like over 5 years ago. All right, made it to the next one. These things, like, so because we don't have the right size tip, we're solder sucking this, which is nice now because this unit is really light, but because it's not the right size tip, it's not desoldering as cleanly as possible. So now while my arms don't hurt, my fingers do, because I'm just having to pull out a little bit harder so I could crack the whatever desolder material or solder material is still there that I can't suck off. Yeah, but we're gonna do this. We're gonna try to finish this board tonight. Say fuck it. Let's just try it out. Frank, if you're still out there, it's a cool stream earlier with that photo review. I like that. I was watching that for quite a bit. It's cool. I'm a fan. Okay, random other thing. While we're speaking about that TG3, you know what could very well be like a GOAT keyboard? HHKB Tex Yoda, especially if it's like Bluetooth. That might be like unstoppable. It's like having a track point. Having a Bluetooth, you could just basically put this whole thing in your lap. It's like having a laptop without a screen. I always wish that a board like that could exist. Alright, I was, while we're all here, just got a little anecdote slash question. I was talking with Ada the other day. We were just like, chatting. Just pose a question of just like, what's the most important thing about a keyboard to you? obviously you guys know my answer. But it's not a matter of what's the most important thing necessarily, but like what's the order of important things on a keyboard to you. It can be as general or as specific as possible. For me, obviously, it's layout, but in a broader sense, I think layout I would combine with like the general umbrella term of feel. I think that feel includes layout. Sound is greater than feel is greater than layout. That's interesting. I would actually probably argue, like I mentioned, I have layout at the top, but I also constitute that as part of feel. But if you don't think it's the same thing, layout first, then feel. And those are just by far the most. And then in a distant third would be looks. And then just barely trailing looks would be sound. But the thing is, I think looks kind of also a part of layout. I guess layout is more, it kind of pervades those couple of things. Use 40s, TKLs, and 60s, both QWERTY and Comac. Don't really mind layout. Oh, man, that's crazy. Yeah, I think, to be perfectly honest, like, after having used the forbidden name switches over there, the cream stems in tangerine housing, I realized that, like, yes, it sounds good, but it's not a good switch and not a good board. Don't know yet, too new, just playing around. Really? That's crazy. You're too new, yet you have this ability to design. It's crazy. That's super interesting, I find. Like, I feel like yeah, there's this, you can consider me not new, but I'm like the furthest from being able to design. It's crazy. Alright, I swear I thought I heard what was possibly gonna be an earthquake. Like I just heard something. I feel like there's been a lot of these like mini earthquakes lately. How to put it? I'm not scared of very many things. I feel like, I don't know. I'm not like terrified of like very many things that like make me sort of gasp. But I will say, like, I still won't know if I even would say like I'm scared of earthquakes, but they do make me think. Because like once an earthquake starts, it's like I feel like there's no way of knowing how crazy an earthquake is gonna get. It might just end up being tiny, like way crazy tiny, but it might end up being something, you know, obviously catastrophic, and you don't know until you start feeling one. And I almost just like, almost just had me thinking because I thought I heard some of the noises that have been happening from these mini earthquakes lately. Junely Bean. I'm most certainly saying that incorrectly, but thank you for the follow 3 minutes ago. I appreciate you being here. I think I sleep through earthquakes. Yeah, I sleep through earthquakes all the time, but like when I'm awake for them. Wait, are you Julie? If you're here, are you Julie? Are you the Julie? Whoops. I think I'm done with this row. Can I just move down to the next one? No, not Julie. Okay. You're not a Julie I'm familiar with? Alright. Much less a the Julie. Alright. When I found out about keyboards, one thing that drew me in was PCB design. I was addicted to designing PCBs and learning about circuitry. One of the first things I made, let's click this. Let's find out what this is. Ah! Oh man, that's crazy charming. I like it. That's super cool. Damn. So, I find that like super incredible. I really like that. Janelli Bean. Janelli Bean, welcome. Hope you enjoy your time here. We're just trying to desolder some ALPS, which has proven to be a little challenging given the setup that I have here. When Lala visited last weekend, I gave him the PCB for this to him to make the cardboard case version. Yeah, I was like watching them talk about that, the cardboard thing. That's crazy. This thing is dirty, crazy dirty. So, I think I mentioned in a previous stream, like I had some goals when it came to just like my future in keyboards. So, I have some updates. Thank you. Don't see ALP stuff often, so it's cool. Yeah, we're doing like some very scuffed harvesting right now. To recap for you and for anybody out there, before we get to these updates, just a quick recap. I had an FR300, a precursor to the FR301, a very nice desoldering gun, but I feel like it didn't, even as nice as it is, it did not fit my criteria of nice enough. So I ended up purchasing this FM-204 desoldering station, and the way that it works is super nice, but we have a couple of issues. One, last Thursday, I tried using it only to find out that it didn't have a part that I thought it would include, which is a tip. So after the Thursday stream, I went on, I just went online and started trying to find places where I can get a tip. So I bought this tip. It came in Monday. I believe it came in Monday. We started putting it together today, and I tried desoldering with it. Turns out it's not the right size tip. So we're having some struggles just trying to be able to harvest. It's kind of working, but this is like mega scuffed here. Fortunately, this is like, you know, kind of a throwaway, you know, harvest keyboard project. So I just want the switches. We're ruining the PCB. Fortunately, we're able to salvage some of it in the sense that our good friend here, Zoo, would like to have the case so that he can, you know, be able to repurpose it. XT layout, unfortunately, the Zenith badge is missing. I didn't actually do that yet. But it's a good XT layout case. Now, as for the updates here, a couple things. One is I've been using I've been using Illustrator lately. I have some familiarity with Illustrator from, you know, a previous life. Um, and I've been able to basically Frankenstein some plates for certain board ideas I have. Funny thing is, a good majority of these boards are just like, they're just very, very simple, like very simple customs. Like, get a case that exists, like a tray mount case that exists, and then cut the plate to fit a given stock PCB that you want to be able to use that has something special behind it. Lately, it's all been ALPS stuff. So like what I'll essentially do is like I'll take some auto generated like ALPS plates that are just kind of out there, or MX plates, and then like I'll drop in like ALPS cutouts just via Illustrator. An interesting thing is like what I found out is there's a couple of like, you know, available ALPS style PCBs out there that just kind of have different features when it comes to what layouts they provide and what stabilizers they use. So that's kind of where just like this sort of like using Illustrator for CAD has kind of been coming along. So I have a couple of plates coming in from Pinocchio pretty soon, hopefully. I have more that I would like to submit to either Pinocchio or Send Cut Send. Curious to sort of see how things are going to turn out. One of the projects that aforementioned projects is what I realized was there are some keyboards that are, and I talked about this on another stream, not sure who might have been here for it. There's some keyboards that are kind of defined differently. Some keyboards are defined by the whole package, like, you know, case, PCB, plate, all that. There are some keyboards that are defined by a little less, and there's a lot of ways you can, you know, circle along this conversation. Here are examples. I have a Duck Viper V3. That's the one I built over here with the tangerine housing, cream stems. And so when you get like a Duck Viper or like any of these recent Duck boards, it's a case along with a plate and along with PCB. Meanwhile, I've been coming across these boards that I have been looking at and actually have been buying. There's a project, there's a keyboard from Project Keyboards called the Sirius, where it doesn't come with a PCB. Like, there's no proprietary PCB for it. It just depends on that pretty standard 60% like left side connector PCB layout. But it's just a case. And what I realized is it's just a case, right? And it's like, it's a top mount case. And so I was able to find the plate file for it and essentially just like place in ALPS cutouts into this plate. So I'm gonna send this over and try to get this cut. And now thus exists a top mounted 60% ALPS keyboard with like actual like a top mount, like a top piece that has HHKB blockers. I realize like you can just do that when these designs are available. It's like, I don't have to think about my one goal that I said I might have had like a little while back, which is I want to make a top mount ALPS keyboard. It feels like it's not necessarily that like I want to design a keyboard so that my name is on it and that I can like, you know, become a big designer. It's more that I just want to be able to solve problems that I have. And one problem out there is that like, where do you get a top mount ALPS keyboard? Well, it turns out anything that's a top mount you can turn into an ALPS keyboard so long as you kind of can form fit it to however you want it to be. So I'm excited for that. I've been struggling here. I think some of these are just pretty stuck, and I think I just need to dick around more. I just been wiggling this aimlessly. Let's see what we'll do here. Sounds exciting? Yeah. So that's one of my updates. Separately, just continuing along that conversation. There's a board I bought. How do I put this? It's crazy. There is a board I bought off of RMM many months ago, and it was just called a custom ALPS board. And I looked up the details on what was inside of it, and I found out that it was part of a group buy called the ALPS Party. So the thing is that, like, I think you literally call this keyboard an ALPS Party keyboard. Now, the weird thing is, what did the group buy consist of? There was no case. The PCB was a second round of an existing PCB. And all that was really like proprietary to this group buy was the fact that it was cut with a stainless steel plate that was powder coated a very specific blue. So what defined an ALPS Party keyboard? Like, you were supposed to source your own case for it. And it's just like, is it, is an ALPS Party just a plate? Or is an ALPS Party this idea of what the guy wanted you to do? And I've had this discussion with many folks who've come by since working on this keyboard. But it's like, is then a keyboard not just a Franken switch? Where it's just parts. It's just parts that are configured in a certain way that you could call it and give it a name. Like that silly cream stem and tangerine housing switch that you guys might all know by one name. Is an ALPS Party just a silly name for this configuration of a keyboard? Technically, a keyboard could be used without a case. That's true. That's true. That keyboard would eventually become this one here, which is the one I've just shown. This is that blue plate. Let's see, let's get it in focus. This is that blue plate. I've switched out the case, but it's the same plate. It's the Hasu ALPS 64 PCB, which is again like another round of an existing PCB group buy. Yeah, this is what that is. And it's like, what is it? Is this still an ALPS Party? Is that what this is? Or is ALPS Party just the name of the group buy and there's not even an actual board? And then for that reason, it's that, like, you could take any 60% PCB and throw it inside of any tray mount case with or without a plate, given that it's just tray mount. And it's like, what is the name of this board? Do you name it by what the case was? So I think this applies to any object design. It's not about the raw materials or parts, but the intention that forms those materials and parts into a function. I like that you put that way. I've not had this sort of background and sort of thought here, but I like what you say. It's intention, right? Now, going back to a question I just had, if you throw in any PCB with or without a plate into any tray mount case you could buy off of even like Amazon, eBay, group buys that just kind of exist, any store that runs their own case, like tray mount case design, what do you call that board? Just as confusing as a question of what is a keyboard? That's the question. That's been the question that I've been pondering a lot for like the last month or two. What is a keyboard? I'm just trying to push these guys through. Model M uses a membrane but might just be the most mechanical in most people's mind. Yeah. Yup. It's, yeah. I mean, it's right in saying intention, right? Oh my goodness. Hey, I'm not hurting the switches. I'm probably hurting the PCB that no one will be using, presumably. Meanwhile, um, so circling back, unless anyone wants to continue with this conversation, but I'll continue along a separate direction and train of thought I had. As I mentioned, one of my goals was to quote unquote design a top mount ALPS board, which I now realize I no longer really need to design. Can I add a bit of solder in and that helps with the stack switches? Yeah, I could, but I'm just like, I don't really want to whip the solder iron out, to be honest. And it's like, ALPS is a little funky here, and just what's happened here is a little funky, where it's just that like this damn thing where I bought the tip that was too tiny, like it's just like it's getting all but like the last little bits of solder in a lot of cases. Now I don't really mind if I do any actual destruction, just harvesting switches. Details and styles that make each design and make unique. Yeah, for sure. So it's like when I do something here, like try to quote unquote design my own ALPS top mount keyboard, what I'm really doing is just, it's still just a Sirius, the keyboard off project keyboards. I'm just, modifying a plate file to fit my needs here. Yeah. So with that said, one of the other goals I had, was I literally want a pure, like, how to put it, one of those Alice style ergo keyboards that is otherwise a pure HHKB layout. That was my other quote unquote design goal. There are ones that get close. There's ones that get very close. So I have a Switch Couture Alice. It's not close. Main problem with it is two of them. Left side macros, as well as the blocker is just in a different spot. Not in the spot that I want it to be in. Two options do get very close. One is I have a question for you. For HHKB layout, do you prefer 6U or 7U spacebar? Honestly, no preference. I like the corner blockers, and that's about it. I can see the advantages of both. One is that the 6U is more true to the original HHKB layout, I guess. And then the 7U, while not true to the HHKB layout, does have that symmetry. Zoo, is BMEC one of them? Yes. So one of the options is BMEC, which gets very close, but it has left side macros. The other option is the AI03 Meridian, which does not have macros, but has the blockers not in the right spot. Most other like 60-ish Alice layouts don't fall under either of those criteria. So the BMEC and the AI03 Meridian are just the ones that are definitively the closest. So many directions to come out of this. One, I did not get in on the Meridian on the first drop, and the second drop is yet to be seen. Two, I never got in on the original BMEC drop. However, I was able to find a fella who apparently like took these open source BMEC files, and basically just had them made himself. And he worked with the original like group buy runner, just saying like, hey, this is, I'm gonna do this. Provided that like I don't know whether how this whole thing's gonna pan out. Like I think the guy was like trying to enter the draw or the raffle to actually get into the original buy. Wasn't sure that he was gonna do it, but still decided to take the open source files in the meantime, get them cut, like get them sort of put together, and he ended up getting into the original group buy anyways. So now he has like several some that are his and some that are the actual original ones. Um, in talking with that group buy runner, he said like, oh yeah, like the guy was able to like say just like, oh, it's okay to like actually sell them if you don't want them anymore, provided that you follow these kinds of rules, which is just like one, sell it at cost, and two, only after I finish like the rounds of invoicing. That guy actually has popped into my stream once, which is cool. And he whispered to me like a picture of his like collection. It's just like, oh, holy moly. In any case, I ended up buying one of his, like his built ones that are not the original ones. So I am part way there of just getting like an HHKB like Alice style ergo board. So that's in the pipeline to be built. With all that said, I still intend on trying to get a Meridian, even if it's not a pure HHKB. And I eventually still intend to try to come up with the ability to design one. Now that'll probably entail some real crazy, but given that the BMAC is like open sourced, I might try to just base it around that somehow, but we'll still have to learn how to do everything. Luckily I know like I know my way around fiddling with a plate, but all the rest of it is like we'll just have to see. Now I'll have to figure out how to deal with making the case nice and how to trim down a PCB, I guess. Neither of which I have any experience, and probably is gonna require more than just Illustrator. So we'll see. That's honestly probably a very down the line goal. Going back to it, I'm just happy that like that whole top mount ALPS idea was actually much sooner of a solution than I thought. This is real nice, being able to use such a light gun. I just wish I had the right tip, as I've been saying all night. I've enjoyed your stream. Gotta head out though. Have a good rest. Hey Zoo, I appreciate you being here. Always. Thanks again, and I'll reach back out on Discord about getting this whole thing over to you. But yeah, appreciate it. Hope you have a good night. See you again next time. Alright, I'll just do the bottom row while we're here. Closing in on the finish line. Love the weight. Love how quiet it is. Love the holder. Oops. I love that the cord comes out the top instead of the bottom. Holy moly, that is nice. Anyone got money to spare, I would highly recommend getting one of these, but learn from my mistakes, yeah. Still gotta get that second tip. Ooh, little LED ones. These are small enough for this tip. Love it. I think my playlist ended. No, something's really just quiet. Where are we? My goodness. Did we end? That is weird. Have I been doing this out of focus the whole time? When did that happen? My bad, guys. We're almost done though. What time is it? Oh, it's almost midnight. Alrighty. I think that we have hit all of the switches. So let's try to do this again. Pry out where we can, and then figure out what we need to do afterwards. That one came out easy. My goodness. Okay, I think what Epsy was saying was just lift off the PCB from the plate, which there's no way this is going to work without me breaking the PCB, because assuredly some of these joints are pretty messed up. Assuredly. That's going to be an interesting thing too. So looks like it is connected in one spot, this screw that I think was used as the ground for the cable. So it'll like kind of probably like rotate a bit, which that'll be a funny sight, but we'll see how it goes. Just clicking this through is like, what's more or less shameful? Doing something that I very clearly shouldn't do to this PCB from a standpoint of like, is it still good? Or watching me struggle to flow solder back in just over and over again while this all goes to hell. I think there was more switches I actually forgot too. Yeah, there's at least two. This one, I think these two I've forgotten. Try. Oh my gosh, taking care of some of these others. Tempest, what's going on? It's lime green. It absolutely is. You a big lime green guy? Lime green your favorite color? Some of this shit's so dirty. It's like, I feel like the meta of me rejoining the hobby is people like ultrasonic cleaning everything. I've never once owned an ultrasonic cleaner, and it's like, I'm harvesting these switches. Should I not ultrasonic clean them? And I feel like, I mean, looking at this monstrosity, it's like people probably get mad that I wouldn't. What you guys think? Honestly, ultrasonic cleaner is pretty nice to have. Gotta dry lube them after though. Ultrasonic gets rid of the factory lube. Even for jewelry, if you don't use it for keeps. Oh, okay. How much does like an ultrasonic cleaner go for? Put my ring in the cleaner every few weeks and it comes out looking fantastic. Interesting. White keycaps. Okay. I used to just pull off all my keycaps and then like put them in a giant bowl with denture tablets and just like swirl it around and let it sit for a couple hours. Haven't done that in a long while though. Flexed on. I've heard that ALPS are better to do dry lube. I have some on hand if you want to sacrifice a white ALPS to some Krytox though. I've never lubed ALPS before. So I'm not sure what the experience would be like, to be perfectly honest. Brown ALPS in that board I built, completely stuck. Blue ALPS I've had, completely stuck. Boy, we struggle with some of these. I know this ain't the way, but we just gotta do it, you know? Having taken several apart, awful experience. Think we okay? Always like kind of scared of like ripping off part of the leg. I think that literally just happened for the first time here. Damn it. First one all night. I actually finally did it. I broke an ALPS leg. Sorry guys. Sorry. So Tempest, you've used ALPS before? You've used a lot of ALPS? Have you tried putting in ALPS into your constellation? Is that like a thing that'll work? Are there like PCBs? Like the PCBs allow for ALPS? No ALPS plates or PCB for that board. Oh. Bummer. April ALPS, man. Really gets you thinking. Gonna do an ALPS build in my KBD fans 5 degree with this Dawn 60 PCB. Hey, I highly recommend. Highly recommend trying an ALPS build on anything. Was being cheap and didn't want to buy a set of keycaps. Ah. Understand. Broke some stems in the donor board for my white ALPS. Yeah. I've never broken an ALPS keycap stem before, but I always fear it. I always, look, no matter what, I'm just so fearful of actually doing it. Oh, this PCB is like mostly off. Shit, but this is the sad one right here. Leg got cut off. So sad. Pulling straight up really hard, wires digging to the edge of the caps, boom, went. The stem didn't. Sad. I wonder if these ALPS LEDs have the same cutouts as MX style LEDs. Got me curious. Absolutely do the build if I can find some tactile ALPS. Not so keen on the white ones. Don't want linear ones. Well, I have 2 recommendations. One is spend a whole ton of money on brown ALPS, or my other recommendation, which is get some very cheap Matthias tactile ALPS, and then do the debumperization mod. My recommendation. Alright, these are completely off the PCB, but they're just not off the plate. So apparently, I think that might have been the problem the whole time. Is these might not have been getting stuck to the PCB at all. It might have just been stuck to the plate this whole damn time. Yeah, no, I have a recommendation that apparently no one likes, which is that Matthias switches are underrated. But that's because literally no one in the keyboard community likes wobble, apparently. I actually found just as a heads up, Matthias, for anyone unfamiliar, and initiated his like 2010s era, so maybe like 2015, 2014-ish era ALPS clone that a lot of people shit on because it's super wobbly. I like it. A lot of people don't. But I found a Geek Hack thread where the Matthias guy was like, he was in a discussion about Matthias ALPS, and like he's like aware of all the criticisms of it, and he he just had like a short message to someone who was just kind of like asking a question. He goes like, yeah, I don't know why people don't like Wobble. He was like, Wobble is there to help you. And his explanation was that like Wobble allows you to make off center presses better, like more easily. Like if you're missing, you know, a key point of you know, a key hit, you're gonna hit it if there's wobble. It'll help you bring it down and actuate. It was an interesting thread. That's not like for me, that's not a reason nor justification of wobble. I will just say that I don't hate wobble. I would want to try Matthias and ALPS Franken switches, put the tactiles into ALPS housing, and see if the wobble is reduced. I notice wobble and it messes with my OCD. Alright, so we just finished desoldering this board. You know, now it's getting me to wonder, like all of the issues I had with this tip possibly being too small, I wonder, makes me wonder, is there a chance here that even with a bigger tip, this might have been like just as hard, because all of the actual stuckness was not in the solder joints, but instead with the plate. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna buy a new tip anyways, just because I can tell this thing is just too tiny. Tactile ALPS greater than tactile MX. Splunkpunk, you're the one that you got the brown ALPS, right? And you got the, what is it? Did you get it off of 5140? So damn good. So damn good. All right, this is the case that goes to Zoo. So I'll be reaching out to him, doing that. Oh, Magnavox, got it. Sick. Let's see, what's the plan here? One is, honestly, I want to kind of take these clips. I want to steal these clips from out this. But how? What's the best way to steal these clips? Just pry it off with a flathead? Ah, it is. Alright. We're gonna steal these clips. I mean, we damn well know that Zoo isn't gonna use the ALPS portion of this. He might use the ALPS plate for reference. But Zoo he will end up getting this dirty ass plate. I'm not gonna clean it before I send it to him. Tried salmon ALPS, sure they were nice, but not better to me. I really need to try brown. Brown's nice, man. Were you here for the brown sound test? I still have it next to me. It's the one ALPS build I've been milking the entire month of April ALPS. I was supposed to do more builds, but timing just wasn't on my side. I appear to have gotten one of these stuck. There we go. Then again, what defines better? I've been tending to prefer lighter bumps anyway, so salmon fits the build really well. Yeah, reality. Oh shit, I think Alright, I did two things. One, I may have lost a clip, but even if I didn't lose it, I think I may have broken it. Stupid me. One thing about brown ALPS is that bump is really, really heavy. Really heavy, and on top of that, the switch itself is just heavy. Like it's a very large bump, and it's a very heavy switch overall. The first day, the first night of that build, was running that very first typing test, and it was killing me how heavy it was. I've gotten used to it over this last month, but it doesn't take away how heavy it is. Personally, for me, having a separate tactile element within the switch is a game changer. That way, the way that MX tactiles generate tactility doesn't do it for me. Feels unrefined. Zygos are almost too much for me, but they're definitely fun to use every now and then. I bought some Zyko switches off of RMM. I haven't mounted them to anything yet. I'm not sure, so I really don't like long pole Franken switches. I'm aware that like Holy Pandas and I guess Zyko switches are long pole stem Franken switch mods. Haven't tried, I've only tried the linear ones. Fuck, did I lose another one? Oh, I got it. I think all of these, I feel like all of these are breaking. Am I just breaking all of these? Am I crazy? These might be unusable. We'll find out. Or I'll eventually find out. I'll keep them for reference though. So yeah, I don't like long pole linear mod switches. I haven't tried tactiles yet. What I will say is I've used clears and ergo clears in my past, and I find they're okay. But I tried I did a build, a Polaris build with Zelio switches, and I find them to be incredibly interesting because there's no pre-travel. I feel like the pre-travel is what, in my opinion, I don't know if Splunkpunk you agree with this, but pre-travel is what makes a tactile switch to me feel unrefined. But again, I don't know if y'all agree. Short travel with a substantial bump. There are other just as tactile switches out there, QEs, even Zelio. Full travel. Yeah. Yeah, that's my thing. I like full travel. That is my reality. I'm a full travel kind of guy. I think you're right on that front, but I do still appreciate a bit of pre-travel on certain switches. Holy Pandas, for instance. Damn, I don't know if any of those clips are usable. That's the funny part of the night, I guess. Well, there's been many funny parts of this night, like being unable to desolder all of this very cleanly at all. Alright, I took out these little clippy guys as well, the circular tubey ones. Alrighty. Holy Pandas are incense. Perfect tactile to me are just Topere and brown Alps, the quintessential roundness. I'm sound driven and long pull bottom out is what does it for me, but I won't long pull into JWK or anything because travel gets reduced too much for me. Carry housing is good for it since it's almost the full 4mm. Interesting. I am, how do I put it? I am not very sound driven. I think that there are sounds that are not as good as others, but to me it's like it's not that huge of a deal. I have a blue Alps. I have a blue Alps build. A lot of people like blue Alps a lot as like a really good clicky. I have a blue Alps build inside of a case that does not sound good in my opinion. But outside of does it not sound good, after that it's like all of it's just fine to me. Tangerine cream switches, you would have lost over 1mm travel. That's a no for me. Yeah, that's a no. That's a big old no for me. So it's just like it just sits there. I've been like avoiding using it. Ada likes it. I guess some people are into it. A lot of people are really into that mod, so much so that it has a name that will not be spoken. Yo, Mendax. Welcome, welcome. We're wrapping up here. Putting this case back together that we have harvested. I was just going to throw this away, but turns out Zoo wants it, so Zoo gets it. There it is. There you have it. A harvested Zenith Z150 with all of the human DNA all over this repair pad. Trading for a Wampus, I'm sure. Alrighty, that just about does it. I would like to know a little bit more about what to do when cleaning this unit, but we're just about done here. I guess while we're here, I'll just throw this guy in one last time. Black Gateron housings don't lose too much travel either and sound really nice. Using Franken switches with kale stems, panda tops, and gap bottoms right now on a plateless TKL, and my ears are that. Alright, what is this goofy ass name for that Franken switch? Tempest. Is it a Tempest? Is it a Tempest switch? Cleaning this out. A big ass globs of solder. I'll tell you that much. Took out one big ass one right now, but more to come. Gateron bottom Raider Navy top with kale stem switch. You have a name you don't want to tell. That's what that sounds like. The last person to come up with a good name for a switch. Good. Good, good. Alrighty. You know, what's interesting is that I think this guy might not require quite as much cleaning, but I'm not sure. I think there's still more to investigate here. I'm just for some reason a pie switch so I can make my cream pie switches. That's the thing. Wait, what is this composition? Yeah, no, there's really not as many elements to clean this guy, which is actually kind of nice. Alrighty. That just about does it for the night here. We got a lot of cleaning to do. Kind of want to move this. Move this, get all settled back into proper place here. So I'm wondering, I guess I just turn this FM-204 off in the back. I just find it so surprising. I was like, it's way easier to clean than I thought, but I'm gonna go review the manual to be sure that's true. Incognito, our very, very good friend. Alrighty, Tempest. If you're, in case you wanted to hear some brown again. This is as I mentioned earlier, ALPS resin tray mount case from KVD fans. For the notion that a lot of my custom ALPS builds are going to be tray mount. I mean, tray mount's kind of the premier option, I guess, or the common option. I don't hate tray mount in general. I think tray mount's fine, but it's that you don't really get a whole lot of options outside of tray mount. We were talking about it earlier. I'm gonna have like a top mount ALPS option pretty soon, but this is where we are. We switched to this case, this tray mount case, this ALPS resin case from KVD Fans. I love the way it looks. I feel like the sound got weaker though, like it's not quite as good. So, in case you're interested in hearing it, here it is. Put a pause on the music. Let's see. Damn it, that didn't work. All right, there we go. I didn't turn off this music, did I? I had a very bad dip at the end. Anyways. Oh shit, my bad. Don't look at that, guys. Don't look at my stream manager. Is there anything critical here? No, I guess it's all stuff you guys see anyways. Damn, the sound really did take a hit. Yeah. It's funny. It's like the thin, mega cheap case, I feel like does sound better. But this does look a lot better. I don't know what you guys think. I love the thicker bezel. But we're gonna roll with it until, like, I usually roll with a build until the next build, and we're just gonna keep going with it until that point. So yeah. If you want to ask about cream pie swishes, ask Snickers his favorite. All right. So tomorrow, let's think about this. It is my Wednesday. It's now Thursday past midnight. I usually stream my keyboard stuff on Thursdays, so I don't know if I might still possibly throw on a stream tomorrow. I'll kind of see. I'll see how things go. Unfortunately, I don't think that it's going to be keyboard related. This desoldering thing didn't work out quite as well, and this was actually I was going to plan for this stream that we just did for being tomorrow. So tomorrow, if I string a stream, might end up being a photo related stream, whether it's backlogged film rolls or I don't know what else would be. I need to be able to get this new Hako tip. So yeah. With all that said, if I'm not streaming tomorrow, finally the next stream will be outside of the month of April, so we're going to be able to go back to an MX style build. Tempest, I think you were making fun of me like hell last time around, how I just had a Viper laying around for some time before I built it. Well, turns out I have another really hilarious one. I've had this KMac Happy just laying around waiting to be built. KMac Happy among one of my Grail boards, albeit I don't have the exact configuration that I wanted, but it is a KMac Happy that I was able to get my hands on, a standard WinKey board with the HHKB blockers. Come on, can I have your pantry? April ALPS, why not year-long ALPS? There will be more ALPS builds coming. I wanted to get them all shoved into this month, but timing just wasn't quite right. I still need to go get these plates all cut. We will have ALPS coming up. In fact, I just today, for anyone who's not already a part of my Discord, I think you guys might be already, which is cool. But for anyone out there who might not be a part of my Discord, I actually just started up a channel for like my streaming schedule and kind of like pipeline. I'll have like the next 4 or 5 keyboard projects put up, but I'll read them out for anyone who might not already be in and joined. Next 4 keyboard builds are going to be the KMac Happy, one of my next ALPS builds, which is a Hammerworks tray mount case from about 2013, 2012. That Reborn BMEC, and then followed by hopefully then a Sirius ALPS, which is the plate that I'm going to get cut even later. So these are going to be like, I try to do keyboard builds once every like 2 weeks or so. Try to. So this is going to span like what, the next like 2 months of builds. And I have many more unbuilt keyboards in the pantry. so we got content for like the next year. Love the look of DCS. Rounded corners just so nice. That is super interesting because I've never really liked DCS that much, but I do like what they've done here. So I'm trying to be a little bit more open-minded and a little bit more accepting. That said, I once had harvested from the Wise keyboards in my past from about like 9 years ago. I had a bunch of these nice, super nice vintage blacks that came out of them. They also came with DCS, that Wise colorway, and I kind of, to be honest, even though I just mentioned just now that I don't really like DCS, I kind of regret selling off that set. And it's probably not so easy to be able to find those sets now, especially ones that would be in good condition. You're going to trade off good condition for price. So I kind of regret that, but it's kind of the way things are. I've made worse sales than that. Anyways, that's the keyboard pipeline for the next 2 months. We got pipelines for the future photography and code streams that are out there as well. But yeah, if anybody out there wants to join the Discord, here's that link. That way you can get more updates on when I go live, what the schedule is going to look like, voice chats, discussions for all the different types of things that I do stream, and so on. So we got some good stuff. Going. So next stream, if not tomorrow, with the possible photography stream, would probably be on Monday, doing more Splatoon. So we got all that going on. Speaking of the possible stream tomorrow, film photography, I provide a film photo developing service, so I can develop and scan your film. I offer extremely competitive rates, in my personal opinion. So check it out if you or anyone you know is interested. Got all the details of the service there. Finally, as mentioned earlier, I send all bits and subs that are donated here to the San Francisco Marin Food Bank. My brother came in a little bit earlier today, just donated like a big old 1,000 bits. So that's going to go to a good place. That's going to be real cool. But if you guys want to donate directly to him, I got that link. That's my page. Twitch doesn't take the cut. And also on top of that, write off on your taxes, all of that. So very cool. All right. Looking online to see who might be up and ready to go. You know what? That's cool. You know what? Epsy's on. We're gonna raid Epsy. He's also doing an ALPS stream, so very much so fits the theme. Yep. A lot of keyboard streamers on tonight, but we're gonna go with Epsy just because, keep the April ALPS momentum rolling. So, guys, everybody, thank you for being here. Good night from San Francisco, and show Epsy some love. Appreciate it, guys.